Welcome to On the Sideline. I'm your host, Keen Lee. In this week's episode, we recap the Micah Parsons trade to the Packers from the Cowboys, discuss what does this mean for the Cowboys and for the Packers. Who's on upset alert this week in week number 1 of the NFL season? Do the Cowboys have any chance of upsetting the Eagles tomorrow night? That's all coming up right here, right now on the Sideline. Welcome, everyone, to my highly anticipated podcast of the year on the sideline. This is basically, for those that are wondering, this is my brand new football podcast that I am going to be doing for the next couple of months. I am super excited to do this with you guys. It's been a long time coming, and plus, it's always good when football season begins, which is awesome. But anyway, as I said in the intro, let's discuss about the Micah Parsons trade to the Packers. The trade was Micah Parsons. The Packers get Micah Parsons, and the Cowboys get Kenny Clark and two first round draft picks. I want to talk about the Cowboys first because this, to me, is how you can create toxicity in a fan base. I understand, I've heard everywhere that Jerry did not want to pay Micah, or like gave him a contract, but he never really did. But to me, this is why, and I've always said this, like Jerry Jones is one of the worst owners in sports. Like, why would you trade a guy that has been arguably your best player for like a couple years, when healthy? Because I think last year it was like his first like injury season. He wasn't out for like a ton of games. I think he was injured, but and I heard when this trade went down, I think it was from like Louis Riddick or something like that. And I thought Lewis said it spot on was this guy should have been a no-brainer in terms of getting a contract. Like CD, obviously, yeah, it should have been, I think Lewis said on the lines of it should have been Micah, CD, and Dak. And I love Dak. All right. But the fact that they gave him that contract with the no trade clause shows as an organization how toxic like being an owner of the NFL team, especially to a player that haven't had like the Cowboys, in my opinion. Maybe I'm in the wrong with this. Haven't had a good player, defensive player, if you will, defensive player on their team since DeMarcus Ware, which is kind of crazy to say, you know. But at the same time, you know, who knows what will happen next with the Cowboys? Does Dak want out? Does CD want out? Like, what's gonna happen now? I could tell you right now that, as the hyenas said in Lion King, it's gonna get ugly real quick. You know. Now over the other side, let's talk about the Packers. As a Packers fan, I like this trade a lot. You get a guy who has been arguably like one of the best young defensive players in our league today. Like, I bet you guys don't know that there are two players in NFL history that have had double-digit sacks in their first 4 years. You know who those four players are? Oh, wait. Micah Parsons and Reggie White. Now, I'm not saying Micah is going to be our next Reggie White. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that is ridiculous considering there are only two Pete players in NFL history. Like, that is insane. I am gonna miss Kenny Clark. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss Kenny. I actually watched his film, watched him play since he was a rookie. Like this guy was, as I think someone commented on the Instagram, like the last OG of the Aaron Rodgers era. You know, I love Kenny. You know, anytime I'm bored, I'll watch a Kenny Clark highlight. You know, that guy was built different. You know, so Kenny, thank you so much for your time in Green Bay. You've been one of my favorite players to watch. But at the same time, you know, it had to be done. So for that, salute you, man. But anyway, moving on to our next topic, we're going to be doing my final standings for the upcoming season. As many of you guys may or may not know, the last time I did this was back in, I think, April, you know? I believe it was last April. Last April. See if I can find it. Oh, yeah. No, not this one. Okay. No, wait. No, not this one. Okay. So we're going to be giving my final predictions for the upcoming season. So let us start. As you can see, we have all of 32 NFL teams. We also have all their divisions. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every single division and give my final ranking for every team in the NFL. All right. And I'll also tell you who I have in the playoffs. So come see them. Spoiler alert. So let's start with the AFC East because I feel like that division is the easiest to finish. I'll take the Jets at four, the Dolphins at three, the Patriots at two, and the Bills representing the team AFC East in the playoffs. Now I know people are gonna be wondering like you hate the Patriots or something like that. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to put the Patriots in the playoffs. It's just that the AFC this year is just so tough. You know, I do think, spoiler alert for my next segment, which is predicting how many wins each NFL team will have by the end of this season. I do have the Patriots having 10 wins this year. But I don't think they have Bills. I mean, the Bills right now are like the Chiefs in this aspect. They are like, until someone knocks them off, I don't see anyone winning this division. AFC North. This one was also hard. I have the Browns at four, Bengals at three, but I think they make the playoffs. The Steelers at two, and the Ravens at one. Look, I love the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I love T. Higgins. But as the saying goes, across, I think, the NFL and the NBA, defense wins championships. And if I need a defensive stop, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh and Baltimore's defense over Cincinnati. All right. Now, obviously, spoiler it again, I have the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals making the playoffs for this upcoming season. AFC South. This one was kind of hard. I'm gonna take the Colts at four, the Titans at three, the Texans at two, and the Jags at one. But I don't have any of them making the playoffs. Look, I'm gonna be brutally honest when I say this. This division is terrible. All right, this division is terrible. All right, and for those that wonder, like, why do you have the Texans over the Jags? Do you hate the Texans? I don't trust this Texans offensive line. And to this day, I still don't know why they traded Laremy Tunsil to the Commanders. I still to this day don't know. Yes, the offensive line was atrocious, but I think he was one of their best offensive linemen, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know what that is. Jags, I think they had the best, most talent in this division, but these are my locks, so maybe the Texans could surprise me. We shall see. AFC West. Where's the AFC? I got the Raiders at 4. This wait. Oh wait, never mind. Raiders at 4. Oh man, this is hard. Chargers at 3, Broncos at 2, and of course the Chiefs at 1. I do think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. I have, in fact, surprise, surprise, I have all three of these teams making the playoffs this year. But that Rashawn Slater injury kind of scares me a little bit. And that's why I have them finishing third. I think the Broncos, I think I love what they did in the offseason. Although I think they should have drafted a wide receiver, Sean Payton. You know, I think this team is going to be the real deal. Kansas City, I mean, what can you say? All right, now my playoff ranking will go as Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Denver, the Chargers, and the Bengals. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Next up is the NFC. NFC. I got the Giants at 4, the Cowboys at 3, the Eagles at 2, and the Commanders at 1. Now I know people are going to be saying like, Keelan, why you're just salty that the Eagles beat up your Packers, or why do you have the Eagles above the Packers? Well, first of all, is their offensive line. I'm a little bit concerned about their offensive line, and two, this is Jalen Hurts' sixth offensive coordinator, I think, in 6 years, which is kind of crazy, you know, considering that no quarterback has ever changed like coordinators just like Jalen Hurts has. Um, I don't think the Cowboys are gonna make the playoffs this year after the Micah Parsons trade. I just think, Micah, yes, I would have said they would make the playoffs, but no, I don't think they have enough talent, you know, unless they match up with someone like maybe the Falcons in the playoffs or someone like that. I don't see anyone winning it. I don't see them making it. And then Washington, I think Washington's gonna have a great year. All right. NFC West. This one was tough as nails. I got the Cardinals at 4, the Seahawks at 2. Yeah, the Rams at 2, and the 49ers at 1. Spoiler, I have the Rams and the Niners in the playoffs. I have the Eagles and the Commanders in the playoffs. You know, I think if Matthew Stafford is healthy, I still think this team is like one of those teams that you still have to be scared of. Even though he has like an injured back, but you know, healthy Matthew Stafford is a very, very scary sight. And then the 49ers, I don't expect anybody to get like really significant injuries on the Niners, even though their roster's getting a little bit old. But they do have the easiest schedule on their easiest schedule. And I expect a bounce back season from Christian McCaffrey and stuff like that. NFC South, give me the Saints, Panthers, Falcons, and the Bucks. I have the Bucks representing the NFC South in the playoffs. And Panthers, I think they're going to be more friskier this year. I think the Panthers, they're going to be frisky. I think they get 7 wins this year. Falcons, it all depends on Michael Penix. If he can be that guy. If he can be that guy, I think. Sorry, guys. If he be that guy, I think this team can have 10 wins, but I have to see it to believe it. I know he played 3 games last year, but this is his first time as the guy. And the Bucks, I just think the Bucks right now, top to bottom, have the best roster in that division. NFC North, and this was tough. I got the Rams at 3. Oh, this is hard. The Lions, no, yeah, Lions at three, Vikings at two, and the Packers at one. I think the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers are all locks to me in the playoffs. They're all locks. All right. I do worry about Jordan Love's thumb for my Packers, you know, and but as long as he's healthy, like he doesn't get injured and is out for a couple games, I think he'll be fine. The Vikings, I think they have one of the best rosters in the NFC. I think Kevin O'Connell is a great head coach, but JJ McCarthy is the X factor. Can JJ be decent? We shall see. And then the Lions, I think last year was kind of a disappointing year. And I think this team is going to bounce back, but they're not the number one team. And the Bears, like, I think this Bears team is going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be as good as people saying they are, like make the playoffs. I think they get maybe 6 wins, and that's me being generous. So what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. Our next segment is going to be discussing how many wins each NFL team will have for this upcoming season. So basically, I'm going to go through a tier list and I'm going to give you how many wins each NFL team will have for this upcoming season. All right. So let's start. As you can see here, we have the tier list. We have 4 fewer, 5 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 12, and then 13 plus. So let us start with the Saints. I think they get 4 fewer wins. I think this roster is just old. All right, let me just say that. This roster um is old. I don't think they have enough talent on their team. I just think right now you look at this roster and not much you could say. You know, Dolphins. I realistically think they could get 8 wins this year, maybe 9. But this team as a whole has a ton of talent on their team still. They still got Tua if he's healthy. They still got Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle, you know. Defensively is where I'm a little bit concerned, but as long as Tua's healthy, this team can win 8 or 9 wins. The Ravens. I think they could get 13. I think as a roster, I think they have one of the best rosters in the NFL. I think they have the best 1-2 punch in quarterback and running back in the NFL. Defensively, they're going to be good. Can they finally win it? That's yet to be seen. Next up, we got the Bengals. I'm going to be brutally honest. I think this team can win 11 games. I really do. You know, all right. This team has the big three in Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. It's can their defense get a stop? That's yet to be seen. Broncos. Realistically, I think they could get 10 wins this year. I think this team right now, if you ask me who would I pick as my dark horse to win the Super Bowl this year, I would pick the Broncos. All right, their defense is going to be annoying as hell to play against. And I think offensively, I think their offense is going to take another step this year. Next up, we got the Giants. I think they get 7 wins. Like this team right now is, when you look at the roster, it might not be like sound like electric, but like this defense is going to be a problem, and I really do believe, you know, in this team. Let's see what happens. Vikings, 10 to 12 wins. I have them making the playoffs this year. I just have to see how good JJ McCarthy is. That's how I'm gonna see it. The Rams. If Matthew Stafford's healthy, I say to 10 to 12 wins. I still think this team with a healthy Matthew Stafford, despite his age, is still a good quarterback in this league. But can his back hold up? That is yet to be seen. Next up, we got the Bucks, 10 to 12 wins as well. All right. If they're fully healthy, this team is offensively can play with anybody. You know, defensively, they can shut down your run game as quick as a cat. You know, even though they don't have the all-star team on their defense, I still think this team has 10 to 12 wins. Lions, 10 to 12. All right. I think this team, if you look at their team right now, they have a lot of talent. You know, you got Jared Goff, you got the dynamic duo and David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They got weapons on their side. Aiden Hutchinson's going to come back this season with a ton of vengeance. I expect a big year from the Lions. Bears. I'm going to say set 5 to 7 wins, and I'm being generous. All right, this team has a ton of talent on their team. All right, but it's all about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Can they coexist with each other? That's yet to be seen. 49ers. If they're healthy, I say 12 wins. This team right now is like one of the best teams in the league right now. All right, I know they don't have a ton of firepower as they did 2 years ago, but they're not if they're healthy, like they're still going to be a good team. The Eagles, 13 wins. I think they're going to get 13 wins this year. All right. They have one of the best rosters in the league. All right. They still got Jalen Hurts. They still got Saquon Barkley. You know, this team has a ton of firepower. Next up, we got the Raiders. Um, I think they could get 7 wins this year. This team right now is probably one of the more friskier teams in the league right now, actually, as you look at it. They have a good offense, but the question is, can their defense be decent enough? That's yet to be seen. We got the Packers. I think they get 12 wins. All right, I think the Packers get 12 wins this year. The Bears will get, no, the Bears, the Lions will get 11, and the Vikings will get 10. All right, on paper, this team has one of the best rosters in the league right now. I still need to see how Matthew Golden looks as a Packer in a Packers uniform, of course. But like as long as Jordan Love is healthy and their defense, which was top 10 statistically last year, for those that are wondering, I think this team is going to be dangerous. The Commanders. I'm gonna say 11 to 12 wins. I know I had them ahead of the Eagles, but like I think right now they could get 13 wins. I won't be shocked at all. It's can they win? Can they beat the Eagles with Jalen Hurts? Like, if you look at the two games that the Commanders have faced the Eagles, they split the season series, but in the games that they won, I think Jalen was out for like a long period of time. So we'll see. Cardinals. I think this team can get 5 to 7 wins. This team might be the most friskiest team in the league. They have a ton of talent on their team. They address the defense. You know, offensively, they have a lot of key players on the team. Uh, Trey McBride, James Cook, um, Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, it's nice. The Steelers. I think they get 11 wins this year. I really do. I think this team right now, a lot of people are sleeping on them this year. All right. I think offensively they're going to be good, and defensively they're going to be great as well. So that's yet to be seen. The Bills, 13 wins. 13 wins max. All right. They still got Josh Allen. I don't like their receiver room a ton, but it is what it is, you know. All right. Defensively, I think they're going to be good this year as long as they don't get hurt. I'm expecting big things from the Bills. Falcons, 8 to 9 wins. 8 to 9 wins. I think this team is going to be good, you know, but like I said, it's the same thing with the Vikings. It's all about Michael Penix. Seahawks, 8 to 9 wins. I think this team right now, they have a lot of good pieces on their roster. They have a lot of talent. But the question I have for the Seahawks is how does Sam Darnold look without Kevin O'Connell? The Patriots, 10 wins. I think they get 10 wins this year, but I don't think they make the playoffs. I like if you want to be in the NFC, if you want to make it to the playoffs in the AFC, you got to have a dog as your quarterback and you got to have weapons around him. And I know they got like good weapons on their offense, but it's just too loaded, man. The Browns. I think they get four fewer wins this year. I truly believe that. This team like doesn't have a ton of firepower. I do think, however, defensively they're going to be good this year. By getting they still have they have Miles Garrett and Mason Graham. So, but offensively they don't have a ton of firepower. The Texans. I'm going to say 9 wins, and I know that sounds crazy to you guys. I just don't like this roster as a whole. You guys know what I'm saying? So, they still have Nico Collins, they still have CJ Stroud. Defensively, I think they're going to be good, but offensively, I have to see what their offensive line looks. Chiefs. I mean, is this one obvious? 13 wins, maybe. You know, they still got Patrick Mahomes, they still got Travis Kelce, they still got Chris Jones, and they still got Andy Reid. What can I say? The Cowboys. I think they get 9 wins this year, and that's me being generous. All right. Offensively, they have the talent. But like the Bengals, and even though if the Bengals make the playoffs, can they can they get one stop on defense? That's yet to be seen. Chargers. They get 10 wins this year. I like I said with the NFC North a little bit. I think the Chargers are gonna get 10 wins. The Broncos are gonna get 11, and then the Chiefs are gonna get like 13 or something. You know. Next up, we got the Jets. Do I want to be fair or do I want to be foul? I'm gonna say they get 5 wins. All right. Offensively, like I love the receiver room. Defensively, I think they have one of the best defenses in the league. If we're just strictly going based on talent, you know. Offensively is where I have major concerns about their quarterback. But hey, we shall see. The Panthers. I'm gonna be drinking that Kool-Aid to the maximum level. I'm gonna be drinking that Celsius. I think they get 8 wins this year. All right, people tend to forget that this team had a top 10 defense a few years ago. Let me repeat that. They had a top 10 defense a few years ago. All right. And I think if their defense can stay solid and their offense can click, things are looking good in the state of North Carolina. Other than Bill Belichick, I think they get 8 wins. The Titans. I think they get 7 wins this year. People are forgetting this team had a really good defense last year. Part of the reason why their defense was so good was because their offense was ass. And I think getting Cam Ward is huge. I think Cam is going to be great this year, and I won't be surprised in the next few years that the Titans will make the playoffs. Again, we'll see. Colts. As crazy as this sounds, I think four fewer. I think they have one of the worst quarterback rooms in the league right now. If you look at it, defensively they're mid at best, and you know they're in a really rough spot. And finally, we got the Jags, 10 wins. I'm all in on the Jags. Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr., and defensively, Josh Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker, Travis Hunter. Oh, I forgot to mention Travis Hunter plays offense as well. So it's going to be an exciting year for Duval. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments section below. So now we're going to get into our week one picks for this week. I just realized I haven't opened up my playoff predictor app, which is where by the way, I use for like week one of the NFL season. So let's get on to it, shall we? So let's do a rapid fire of these. And then next week I will unveil my on the sideline hierarchy for week one of the NFL season. So starting off, we got the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'm obviously going to take the Eagles to win this game. I think they have the best roster, best talent, and I just think it's going to overwhelm the Cowboys. Give me the Eagles to win 30 to 21. Next game, we got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Fortunately, I have to take the Chiefs here. All right. But I won't be surprised at all if the Chargers keep it close because it's a division rival, and you always play your division rivals tough. Give me the Chiefs to win this game 23 to 20. Next game up, we got the Cardinals and the Saints. I'm gonna take the Cardinals here. I think they have the better roster than the Saints, but I do think the Saints are gonna put up some points. Give me the Cardinals though to win this game 27 to 17. Next game up, we got the Panthers and the Jags. I'm gonna take the Jags, believe it or not. I think the Jags, I think they have much more talent than the Panthers. I do expect the Panthers to keep it close, but you know, I'm gonna take the Jags to win this game 27-26. Next up, we got, oh yes. Oh yeah. We got the Steelers and the Jets. I mean, this one's obvious. I am gonna take the Steelers to win this game. I think they have much more talent than the Jets. No offense, Garrett Wilson. Love your dog. Um, but I just think right now the Steelers are millions of light years ahead of the Jets. I do expect the Jets to keep it close because of their defense, but give me Aaron Rodgers over Justin Fields any day of the week. Give me the Steelers to win 23-16. Next game up, we got the Bucks and the Falcons. I'm actually going to take the Bucks here to win this game, 28 to 27. I think offensively, I think the Falcons offensively can keep it close. It's that I just don't trust Michael Penix as a whole. If you're wondering where the Bucks are going to get the 27 points from, I think Bijan Robinson is going to get that workload along with Drake London, Kyle Pitts. But if I need a defense stop, I'm going to take the Bucks defense over the Falcons. Next up, we got the Dolphins and the Colts. I am going to take the Dolphins to win this game 27-13. I think offensively, the Dolphins have more talent than the Colts. I do think the Colts can keep it interesting, but it's a little too much for the Colts. I think Tyreek is going to come for some vengeance. I think Tua is going to have a bounce back season. Give me the Dolphins to win this game 27-13. Next up, we got the Giants and the Commanders. I mean, I'm going to take the Commanders, but I'm not feeling too confident about it. I could possibly see the Giants upsetting the Commanders. But look, defensively, I think the Giants are going to keep it close. But as of this very moment, give me Jaden Daniels over Russell Wilson, even though do think Russell Wilson's going to be a Hall of Famer. Give me my score prediction. I think it's going to be 23-20. Next game up, we got the Bengals and the Browns. I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game 27-17. I think the Browns are going to keep it close because like I said, their defense is going to be annoying. But I just think the Bengals offense, they're coming for vengeance this year. They are coming for blood. Next up, we got the Raiders at the Patriots. Do you guys smell that? Like I smell something really funny. Oh yeah, that's right. Upset alert. I am going to take the Raiders to win this game. Look, I think Max Crosby is going to cause chaos on that Patriots O-line. Now, I do think the Patriots are going to keep it close just because I love what the Patriots did in the offseason offensively. They got Will Campbell in the draft. They also got Travion Henderson, who I've been told is a dog, who is a dog. I do think, but I do think the Raiders are going to win this game. Give me the Raiders to win this game 26-20. Next game up, we got the Seahawks and the 49ers. I'm going to take the 49ers as well, as crazy as it sounds. I know the 49ers are banged up, but, you know, You know, this team on paper, I think, is going to be good as of right now, but they're not going to be great. I do think Seattle's going to push them because one, it's a division rival. Two, Seattle's a very hard place to play in. Give me the 49ers to win this game 20-17. Next game up, we got the Rams and the Texans. I am actually going to take the Rams to win this game, but I will not be surprised at all if the Texans win this game. I think offensively, the Rams, I think, have more talent than the Texans. I know the Texans don't have Tank Dell, and like Joe Mixon is like uncertain, but you know, is what it is. Give me the Rams to win this game 26-23. Next game up, we got the Titans and the Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos to win this game, but I think the Titans are going to keep it close. I think the Broncos defense is going to get after Cam Ward to the maximum level, so I think they're going to have to run the football a ton. And I just think right now the Broncos, I think they're a much better team. Give me the Broncos to win this game 23-17. Next game up, we got the Lions and the Packers. You guys know where I'm going with this. I'm going to take my Packers to win this game. I think offensively, I think we could keep pace with the Lions. And I think defensively, we have a guy that can slow down Jared Goff in that offense. Give me the Packers to win this game 27-26. And then next up, we got the Ravens and the Bills. I'm actually going to take the Ravens to win this game, believe it or not. I do think this is probably going to be one of, if not the highest scoring game of the weekend, just because both offenses are electric. But give me the Ravens to win this game 28-27. And finally, we got the nightcap in the Vikings and the Bears. I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game. I think the Vikings are going to come out with vengeance. You know, I do think the Bears are going to keep it close because one, it's a division rival. So every game is close, but give me the Vikings to win this game 24-23. And that is it for my week one NFL predictions. So what did you guys think of the first ever episode of On the Sideline? Did you guys enjoy it? I know it was kind of a little bit long. It's NFL season, it's football season, and the first game starts tomorrow, so I can't wait for that. In the meantime, I'll be with you guys for a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe, stay warm, stay active. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, enjoy the sunshine. Get into running, get into walking. But with that being said, I have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay warm, stay active, stay hydrated. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.